All right, so this one says if f of x equals this thing and g of x equals this thing, which of the following expressions represents fg of x? So we worked on this quarter, but if this is looking unfamiliar, you can kind of think of it like this: f times g of x. And all that really means is that we want to multiply this times this. And I know that I'm going to need the box to do that. So I'm going to have 5x squared minus 6x plus 1 and x squared minus 2. Right, so I'm going to have these like this. So I have 5 times x squared would be 5x to the 4th minus 6x to the 3rd plus x squared minus 10x squared plus 12x and negative 2. Multiplying just like the normal box, no big deal. The only thing that you might notice is that x squared and x to the 3rd don't go together. So I'm not going to multiply those together. I know that 5x to the 4th would be by itself. So my answer should have 5x to the 4th, not f, and not 25x to the 4th. And then should have negative 6x to the 3rd. So it's not going to be this one, and not going to be that one. So negative 6x to the 3rd. I know that negative 10 and positive 1 would make negative 9. 12x is by itself, doesn't have anything combined, and negative 2. So it looks like this is the correct answer for J there. Right, so we can move pretty fast just by doing the first few boxes at a time. That's number 24. Number 25. Should see this one here. So it says a bag contains 12 red marbles, 14 yellow marbles, and 8 green marbles. How many additional red marbles must be added to the 34 marbles already in the bag so that the probability of randomly drawing a red marble is 3 out of 5? So I right now have 12 out of 34. And I want it to be 3 out of 5 chance. So right now if I have I want it to be 3 out of 5, which is 60% or 0.6. And right now I have 12 out of 34, which is only a 35% chance. So I'm probably going to have to add a lot of red marbles to make that happen. That being said, if I just add 1, I have to also add it to the bottom, because if I add 1 red marble in, the total also goes up by 1. So then I'd have 13 over 35, which is getting me closer to 0.6, but not quite there. So maybe I want to add more. Maybe I'm going to add 5 at a time. I'm adding whatever I choose to add here. So if I add 5 more to each of these, I'm going to have 18 divided by 35 plus 5 would be 40. I see 0.45. So that's going up, but not very fast. So maybe I'm going to add 10 this time. Right? 10 on top and 10 on bottom. So now instead of 18, I'm going to have 28 divided by 50, because I added 10 to 40 as well. That's 56, so I'm pretty close. Maybe I'll slow down a little bit, maybe add 2 more. Right, so 2 more would be 30 out of 52. That's 57, so maybe 2 more, 32 out of 54. Oh, that's super close, 33 out of 55. I added 1 more to each one, and that's exactly 0.6. So 33 out of 55 is what I want. And it specifically asked me how many additional red marbles must be added. So I started with 12, and I want to now have 33. So I'm going to do 33 minus 12, and that tells me I'm going to add 21 marbles. So it would be 21 red marbles. This is kind of like a guess and check method. If you're not about the guess and check method, you could also do it a different way, which you could say, you could set up a proportion like 12 plus some number over 34 plus that same number, because I don't know how many marbles, but I know I'm adding it to the red count as well as the total count. It needs to be the same as 3/5, right? Because I want it to be the same the probability that they tell me. From there, I'm going to multiply, cross multiplication, but I have to distribute this into both pieces. So I'd have 5 times 12 is 60, plus 5 times x would be 5x, is equal to, and the 3 needs to go onto both pieces too. 3 times 34 is 102, plus 3x is 3 times x as well. So then I would subtract 60 on both sides, subtract 3x on both sides. It's going to cancel these and this. Leaves me with 2x equals 42. Dividing by 2 on both sides gives me x equals 21. Remember in the equation that I made, 21 was the number that I needed to add to the top and to the bottom to make it 3/5. So I know that that was my 21 answer. Right, so a couple different ways you can guess and check until you get there, or you can solve an equation if you want. All right, let's do 26. 26 says, Megan and Louisa are side by side at point A, shown on the figure below, when they begin to run at the same time clockwise. And it shows us the direction which clockwise is, which is this way, right, like a clock, around a small circular track. Megan runs at a rate of 40 seconds per lap, so she takes 40 seconds to go all the way around, while Louisa runs at a rate of 70 seconds per lap. So Louisa is a little bit slower, 70 seconds. Which of the following figures best represents Megan's and Louisa's locations 120 seconds after they begin to run? So if I just think about Megan for a second, Megan's going to go take 40 seconds to go around, and she'll be back here at 40 seconds. Right, so 40 seconds goes by, she's done one lap. Another 40 seconds go by, now it's 80 seconds, she's done 2 laps. Right, and then another 40 seconds go by, 120 seconds, she's done 3 laps. So she would be back here at this location when she's done, right, or at when the time is done, 120 seconds later. Right, so we know that Megan's going to be up here at the top like this picture showing. Megan's not going to be over here. Megan's not going to be over here. Oh, this one shows that Megan's here as well, and Megan's there as well. So we really need to decide where Louisa is in order to get this question right. So Louisa takes 70 seconds. So she's going around. At 70 seconds, she's made 1 full lap. Will she make it all the way around in another, will she be able to make it in the time that's left? No. If I did 120 seconds and she already used up 70 of them, she only has 50 seconds left, right? If I think about this, 50 seconds is close to 70, but it's not quite to 70, right? So if I did 70 divided by 2, like if she would go halfway around like this, that'd be like 35 more seconds, right? So 70 and 35, 105 seconds, she'd be here, right? But she's going a little bit further even, 120, so she's going like maybe a little more. My guess is that she's in this area somewhere. So I'm going to check my answer choices. Louisa's definitely not up here, right? So it can't be that one. Louisa might be down here. That might be close, but I know that she got it farther than halfway, so I think this is actually a much better guess. So I'm going to go with H. If you want to do a super math way, you could do 120 divided by 3 would show you, divided by 40. That would show you that Megan goes 3 full laps. And then 120 degrees divided by 70 would show you that Louisa goes 1.7 laps. So 1 lap all the way around and then 0.7 to that area, which is why we can see this would be like about 0.7 way around, right? So like that would be like 0.75, 3/4 of the way. This is a little bit less than that. So I know that H is my correct answer.